So this is John. Say hello.
Hello there.
He's my middle child.
Hello, YouTube friends.
And John, tell him what you do.
Make things out of wood. Furniture maker.
John's a furniture maker.
Joiner, carpenter, furniture maker.
Cabinet maker.
Cabinet maker. Health and safety manager.
He is the health and safety manager, which is wonderful. So he can stay healthy and safe. So tell us what you're doing.
Well, I'm definitely not an expert at this, so probably you get loads of comments about how rubbish it is. But we're trying to copy. So there's that bevel, this secondary bevel here, maybe you can see it, that section there.
Okay.
So we're just trying to copy that, thin it back down.
Thin it. Okay.
So we can build up the other edge, and you can see what we're trying to do is create like a wire edge along,
Okay.
which is super thin.
Right.
Steel all along there, and then we get that thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until that breaks, and when that breaks it's at its sharpest.
So you've got to get it to the point where you break the edge off then?
Exactly, yeah. Break the wire edge off.
Goodness.
But in a really thin, controlled way.
Wow, it's a lot more. Which is why you said to me, don't sharpen this knife, Mum.
Exactly.
Because I would have just used the knife sharpener, which is exactly the wrong thing.
Well,
to
I mean, that's fine for Western knives, but with Japanese knives it's a bit different.
So this was a knife I got for Christmas from you 2 years ago.
Yes, it is.
It is, and so which was a lovely, lovely, lovely gift, I have to say.
I mean, YouTube is full of Japanese knife sharpening tutorials, and this definitely.
So this isn't a tutorial. This is
This is just me sharpening your knife.
my lovely son coming round on a Saturday afternoon to sharpen my knife, because I use it all the time. No, there's nothing ham-fisted about it. So tell me what all the things are that you've got on the board there.
Well, that's a coarse grit water stone, and it's about 240 grit, and then that one is 800 grit, and then that one is 3000 grit.
Wow.
And then that one is
The other side.
6000 grit, although this one's nearly dead. See, there's only a tiny bit left. So I need to get another one of those soon.
Because I remember...
And then that one is 9000. So that's the one we finish it off on.
How many... do you have to do all of those?
Yeah, well, you have to.
No, but do you go work through them all?
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
So I'm getting to see now, you can see where I've been removing the material, but there's still like here and there I've been missing it. So probably not particularly, and you can see there's a bit less on that side, so I'm definitely not an expert. I would stress again.
No, we're not doing this as a tutorial. We're doing this as a lovely, friendly thing to do for your mum. Aren't we? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So the way these stones work is that they're various mineral and chemical compounds which are baked with clay or some sort of substrate, and when you add water, the particles are slowly released.
Yeah.
So you can see it gets this kind of like, they call it slurry, and it's that's cutting, not the stone.
So it's the slurry, the water,
so it's the water mixed with the...
that's making the abrasive.
Exactly. And it each coloured stone has a different grade of grit in it. I think it's all formulated with different chemical. To be honest, I don't know exactly how they make them. But
and they're expensive.
Yeah, that was like £40 for.
Okay.
But that's two, and then that was maybe 30. But there's 9,000 or is it 10,000? That was more. That was like £70.
Wow.
But it'll last a long time. Some of them wear away very quickly, and some of them don't wear away.
And do you have to keep them in water, or do you put them in water when you're going to use them?
Yeah. You can leave them dry, but then when you need to like soak the stone. Some of them need to be soaked for longer. That one only needs like 5 minutes. This one needs longer. That one needs only 5 minutes. And if you over soak some of them, it's quite. It's like anything. It's like there's a really complex world around it all. But there's some good information for beginners out there. There's a good website, a German website called Fine Tools, which is where I get all of them, and it's where I got this knife as well.
Yeah.
It's really good. The way they're made, this isn't a relatively inexpensive one, but there's like a hard steel core, which is the piece I'm sharpening now, and that's laminated, on this case, just with soft steel on one side and one side, but some of them they have like 30 or 40 laminations. And the hard steel is very brittle and could easily snap and break if you wasn't protected by the soft, supple steel either side. So unlike a Western knife where all of the blade often is made up of the same type of steel, here you have this hard steel which holds its edge for a very long time, which means that if you look after it, you don't need to sharpen it very regularly.
Okay.
And by looking after it, you should not only cut raw fish, meat or vegetables with it.
Right, rather than what?
Well, like cooked meat or
bread or
bread or anything frozen, or like opening a packet with it.
Oh God, no! I wouldn't ever dream of it.
You know, with Western knives, they're kind of like a utility tool almost, aren't they?
Yeah, you
but
could.
But with these, it's a bit. You've got to be much more careful, and then also you don't want to wash them with other things. So wash it on its own and put it away, and it always lives on its own.
It has got its own place in the drawer.
Yeah, and also you don't ever dishwash it.
Never. And does it have a little thin layer of oil on it when
you
I
could
put it
do
away?
that, yeah.
Because like sometimes when you've just done this, I usually do that until I forget.
Yeah. So if you do all that stuff and you have a good quality knife, it's going to be a lot better. Yeah. Because what I'm doing at the moment is I'm looking down the blade, and because at the moment we're still removing any chips. There's a one you can just about see there.
Okay.
So this is kind of the coarsest grit. We're just trying to get rid of any big chips, which is often the problem. About keeping a consistent angle and a consistent stroke and pressure, yeah. Which, because mostly I use these for my woodworking tools.
Do you sharpen them very frequently?
No, not really as often as I should.
So what, would you sharpen them at the beginning of a new job or something?
But generally at the end of a job I would
put them away sharp.
Exactly. Try and do even amount on each side so that we're thinning it equally on each side. So probably nearly through on this 800 now. And then go to that 3000.
So do people have their own stones? You don't share stones with folk?
Well, I wouldn't really let people use these because they're, it's probably like £150 worth of sharpening stones.
You want to keep these.
Well, it's easy to.
A completely different sound.
Yeah. It's easy to. Now you can see the slurry is a different colour. So that grey, you can see what colour it should be, and that and that grey is the slurry mixed with the steel from the knife, so you can tell it's cutting.
Okay.
Now you can see as the stone was clean, and then
it isn't.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh wow. Look at that.
But then in Japan, this knife sharpening and tool sharpening is a whole job in itself.
Yeah.
And also the grinding out of chips, like the first stone we used, that is a whole job in itself.
Is it?
And the finishing is a whole job in
so
itself.
So they break it down even into stages of knife sharpening.
So if any of them saw me doing this, they'd probably like have 5,000 complaints about it.
Well,
so I apologise to anyone who thinks I'm doing this wrong.
No, you don't need to worry. I don't think the knife sharpening community follow my The Last Homely House, John.
Well, they should.
Maybe they will after this. Maybe if I put some decent tags in.
Yeah. They get worn down.
Where did you learn all this?
I just doing it. It's mostly just trial and error. There's some good internet YouTube videos about it, but I've just been doing it for the last probably 6 or 7 years at work.
It makes perfect sense. I've never seen you do this before. You've always just taken my knife away and brought it back. So that's really great.
So we're probably nearly ready to swap to the 6,000. And with this one I use this other stone. This is called a Nagura stone, this one.
What?
And it creates the slurry for you. So
it starts the process, the Nagura stone.
Yeah, so now you can see on there that.
Yeah.
So that is now going to, and this one has for some reason this one you can smell. Can you smell that? It has like this weird smell.
No, pass me the Nagura stone. Oh yeah.
The other thing that does is it flattens the stone if it needed. You can use that to flatten the stone because it can grind away. Yeah. Sorry, what am I doing there?
Yeah. Do you enjoy doing this?
Yeah, it's really fun, but you need to have the time to. And if at work I just stand there for like 2 hours and sharpen all my tools, you can see why people will be like, well, "What's he doing?" It's coming now. So this is a diamond stone. And that's a piece of what kind of metal is it? Nickel, maybe, base, and then in it they embed industrial diamonds.
Okay.
So that there's no slurry created, but there are these lots of diamonds, and this is a super coarse one. So if it was a big chip in that, we could use that. Although I think that if you use the diamond stone on a Japanese knife, I think that you'd get they would come and hunt you down and take away anything you had to do with their tradition.
Because that's just not used at all. Wouldn't it be in a set like this then?
No, it wouldn't. But I don't think I've ever used it on a knife, but I do use it for my woodworking tools.
If there was a real notch that you needed
because otherwise it could take a long time
to do it this method.
Yeah, that's getting good now. We could maybe go on to the next stone up.
Okay.
So we'll go to the final one, which is this 10,000.
10,000.
Go back in there.
Stones, would you?
No. And people say that each tool has a stone that should be paired with, and that it works. It sharpens. These are man-made stones, but there are also natural waterstones, which are the same thing. Those minerals and chemical compounds and minerals and stuff
found naturally occurring.
Yeah, and have been trapped in sedimentary rock.
Yeah.
And they're quarried out, and they're in traditional Japanese history, they used loads of them on all their samurai swords and their knives and everything.
Yeah.
So now there's hardly any left, so they're really, really expensive.
Oh, right.
Like one stone, $5,000 or whatever.
But if what you are is a knife sharpener or a tool sharpener, then that's like the holy grail for you, isn't it?
Well, if you like, this is what you're into. This is your like.
But if it's your job.
Yeah, or if this is... So there you can see we're getting it pretty good now. So there's the hard steel, and you can see the line now of the soft steel.
Yeah.
Which we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Got lots to learn still.
Well, I think you're awesome.
I think you're awesome, Mother.
Mutual Appreciation Society here. So you're saying about Western blades. You've got some Western chisels. How do you sharpen them?
Same way, but you can do it the same way. But
and which do you prefer when you're working?
well, I use my Western chisels for like anything where I think there might be a risk of there being metal in it, or they get, if you know, rougher work. And then I use my Japanese chisels when I know it's just pure timber.
Yeah. Outcome. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, let's go and wash it and see.
Okay.
Cut a bit of vegetable.
This is what the sushi chefs need, isn't it? It's this kind of thinness.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Fantastic. That's so good.
You want to have a gun?
So I'm going to keep my...
Yeah, you've got to keep your hands away, haven't you?
Oh, what a difference. Because I just made soup earlier on. What a difference.
Oh.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Absolutely brilliant, John. Thank you so, so much. So you like the travelling knife sharpener?
Yeah, see you YouTube friends.
Thanks, John.